Good afternoon, and welcome to the Health is Wealth webinar. I am Margaret Montgomery Richard, Chair of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber. The New Orleans Regional Black Chamber, along with New Orleans Complete Street Coalition, are pleased to join forces to raise awareness of the importance of community health and the benefits of Mayor Cantrell's Moving New Orleans Low-Stress Bikeway Network. We believe that having a safe and affordable transportation option will improve the health of the Black community and enhance the financial life of Black businesses. When people move in our communities and they have a range of good options for moving around, they take advantage. They walk, they bike, and during this pandemic, they often doing these things as a family. Improved sidewalks, protected bike lanes, give people more options and more ways to get to neighborhood restaurants, locally owned businesses, particularly in communities of color. Safely designed streets encourage us to walk and bike, improving our health while keeping dollars closer to home. That's why we're here today, to celebrate new and improved ways to move around New Orleans and to promote opportunities for Black-owned businesses to take advantage by connecting with a large and growing movement. Getting a bike rack for your business, taking part in the city's parklet program, or simply getting out there to walk or just go for a ride.
New Orleans Black Chamber and New Orleans Complete Streets Coalition, thank you both so much for inviting me to welcome you to the Health and Wealth webinar. First, congratulations really for putting it on. You know, just like me, that the need to focus on disparities in our city as relates to health and wellness is a top priority. Even as we look at COVID-19, the impact that it's had on the Black community in our city, I'm telling you, the disparities are there. The numbers speak for themselves. So out of even 592 of our people who have lost their lives, 440 are from the Black community in our city, but also from our cultural community in our city, which is a deeper blow for a city like the city of New Orleans. Also, as we look at transportation and transportation costs that I know, you all are looking at, of course, complete streets. We have to do better. We are doing better because of your partnership. But you know, like me, we want to not only plan, we want to implement the plans that we have to increase accessibility for the people that we serve. So with that is not just, of course, bicycle, absolutely, we need that. But also as it relates to improving accessibility to public transportation options. That remains a priority, and we're getting there, and we will get there together. So thank you so much again for allowing me to welcome you. But I just want you to know that the work that you all are doing every single day, it gives me what I need to continue to stand for you, for your organizations, but more importantly for the people of this community that we serve. So thank you so much. You mean the world to me.
This wealth means everything to me because at the end of the day, what are you without your health? We believe in what's called harmonic prosperity, which means we want you to be prosperous in every area of your life, spiritually, mentally, physically, relationally, and financially. So it's a major pillar of what we do in my family, what we do in our church, because we know how important health is to everybody. My fitness routine starts off early in the morning. It starts off with a little stretching, some weightlifting, and then after that, I'm jumping on my bike and get several miles in to make sure that my cardio is up. And I've been biking since I was a little boy, riding my bike from uptown New Orleans all the way to the river and back. So I've been riding my bike for a long time. Do I have a favorite route? Absolutely. I catch the ferry on the West Bank. I ride the ferry over, and then I'm riding all the way down Canal Street. There's a bike path on Canal Street. Swerve around sometime to City Park, and then come right back. Regarding the bike lanes, I want to thank all of the officials of the city of New Orleans for putting them in because it makes bike riding safe, Also, it connects us with our neighborhoods. It's a lot safer for me. It's a lot safer for my family. Also, it's safer for the people who are driving cars. So big shout out to the city for these incredible bike lanes. All the bike riders that are riding out there, you know we love riding. We love riding on our streets of New Orleans, but we're looking forward to the protected bike lane. We want to thank our mayor, Mayor LaToya Cantrell, the Black Chamber of Commerce, and New Orleans Complete Street Coalition for helping us to get our protected bike lanes in the city of New Orleans so we can be safer, healthier, and wealthier as we ride together.
Improving New Orleans streets provides more control and peace for all. Soon, people in cars and on bikes or on foot can get around our city with less stress and more safety. Be part of the progress at NOLACompletestreets.org.
Good afternoon. My name is Onika Jervis, and I am with GrowTrek. I am also a member of the executive team of the New Orleans Complete Streets. So it is such a gift today that you are here with us. Really want to thank you. I know all you business owners, your time is precious. And so we are absolutely happy that you are here. And so I hope that so far you are excited. You heard the greeting from our mayor, and you also too heard from Bishop Love talk to you about why this project is important. And so we've got more for you. So next up, you are going to hear from Rika Triggs. She is also too on the Complete Streets Executive Board, and she is going to talk to you about what it is that we really believe. We believe that your health, it's a personal, it is a professional, and it is a business matter. It's important to us. So listen to Rika and get excited. And we are so happy that you are here with us. If you have the opportunity, invite a friend, share this right now, and invite some of your business partners to join us.
Good afternoon, and thank you again for joining us. My name is Rika Triggs, and I'm Community Advocacy Director for the American Heart Association. I'm also a part of the executive team of the New Orleans Complete Streets Coalition, and I'm thrilled to represent both organizations with you today. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Mayor Cantrell and her administration for their leadership in adopting a comprehensive Complete Streets policy. It is a pleasure to have them as partners and champions for health initiatives in the city. So first, we're throwing out lots of terms today: health, economic development, biking, business, quality of life. It doesn't seem like all of these words are connected, but they are. They're all a part of Complete Streets. So what are Complete Streets? Complete Streets are streets built to share, so people walking, biking, driving, and using transit can safely share the road. Complete Streets are rooted in safety and equity. Some key benefits of Complete Streets are accessibility for all users, providing increased access to businesses, employment, schools, recreation areas, as well as improved quality of life. It provides a reduction in carbon emissions, but allow me to highlight access a little more. By increasing foot traffic to businesses, it also increases opportunities for customer engagement. All of these areas are important in our everyday lives, but why are Complete Streets important to the American Heart Association? Because they help our communities build a culture of health. We all deserve to live in safe, healthy communities, communities with complete streets that include bike lanes, sidewalks, crosswalks. They improve everyone's health by making it easier and safer to be active. People are more active with access to Complete Streets designed neighborhoods. It encourages families to use active modes of transportation, such as biking and walking, therefore preventing heart disease, diabetes, strokes. I don't want to bombard you with statistics, but no, making our streets safer for all users can help lower the risks of cardiovascular disease and other chronic health issues by providing opportunities for physical activities. This brings me to another term, health equity. We all know that communities of color are disproportionately impacted by chronic diseases. These same communities have historically not had investments in these types of quality of life improvements. Health equity means increasing opportunities for everyone to live the healthiest life possible, no matter who you are, where you live, how much you make. We all are aware of the barriers and disparities that exist. Where you live, your zip code, determines your life expectancy. Social determinants of health are real, and COVID has magnified these inequities. We must prioritize those who are most vulnerable. So I mentioned priorities. I have to ask you a set of personal questions. Are you prioritizing your health? How important is your health and the health of your business? What has been your investment in your health? You didn't think that I would get into your business, but since we're talking about business and health, allow me to spend the remainder of my time discussing the concept of health as wealth in the framework of health being both a personal and professional matter. You have to take care of you to be able to run a business. Your business feels like you do. If you're sick, your business is sick. Small businesses, the operations is dependent on the owner. The American Heart Association encourages you to know your numbers. That's your blood pressure, your blood sugar, cholesterol, the body mass index. And I have to highlight blood pressure. If I had neon letters, I would hold it up, BP. It is a silent killer. So many people are walking around with high blood pressure and don't know it. You can't address what you don't know. Have a health plan. You have to face it to fix it. Then model good behavior for your employees. When your employees are sick, there's a loss in productivity, which results in a decrease of revenue. So, eat smart, move more, be well. Be well. You can get stressed out. Literally, stress can take you out. Do not underestimate the power of breathing deeply, of finding balance between work and life. Walking, and sometimes it means walking away. And this is just a bonus thrown out by Dr. Rika. Your peace and your well-being just isn't worth sacrificing. I'll say that again. Your peace and your well-being is not worth sacrificing. So let me leave you with a few more practical steps to your wellness and life and business. Start an employee wellness program to support and incentivize you and your team. Have days that you walk to lunch or walk at lunch. Have green days, water challenges. Chart your miles of physical activity in a common workspace. Acknowledge and celebrate those results. Incremental changes, small steps make a big difference over time. Visit heart.org. The American Heart Association has a wealth of information, tips, resources for living a longer, healthier life. Also, join us at the New Orleans Complete Streets Coalition. We'll have more info a little later about that. But please get serious about the actual health of your business and prioritizing your health. I appreciate your time and your attention. Next, we'll have a chamber member spotlight followed by an exciting and engaging panel discussion led by the Chamber's own Kalisha Garrett. Thank you again, and I wish each of you health, wealth, and wellness.
I'm Alonzo, co-owner of Hackathon Coffee Parlor. The Coffee Parlor has been in business for about 3 years now. We consider ourselves an upscale coffee boutique.
I'm John Williamson, owner of Level Water, and we've been in business about 3.5, 4 years now, building up our reputation and definitely on a regional path and national recognition. So you have a real silky, smooth water that's purified, but then has that pH level of 9. And I introduced myself in the water itself. It was kind of like, you're like, okay, you got water. All right, I got water already.
When we started back in town, we knew we wanted an offering of high quality water. In the first week, we sold completely out. The two brands came to be a perfect fit. So with that relationship, we now exclusively sell Level Water. We do own a bike rack, and that came about because of the proximity of where the business is located. We're literally 2 blocks from Armstrong Park and approximately 5 blocks from the Lafitte Greenway, all which are utilized for heavy biking. And so we were approached by a local bike organization, Bike Easy, and some of the improvements that they were doing with the roads and the bike lanes that they were making to connect Midtown with downtown. To put a bike rack out was a natural fit. My routine, for the most part, I'm a former Marine, so I embrace running several times a week. There's a group of brothers about 10, 15 deep, and on the weekend they ride about 30 miles. I'm gearing myself up to get engaged with that.
You know, with having a really rigorous work schedule, it's reminding yourself that, just be cool. Of course, having the bike shop, I'll jump on the bike and ride around. I'm definitely getting my cardio in. Doing what you love to do every day. That's the wealthy side of it.
For me, if I don't relieve this stress, if I don't incorporate this health, then the wealth part will never come.
I'm committed to having a conscious lifestyle by continuing to hydrate and leveling up.
I'm going to continue to be health conscious for myself and for my business.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the Health is Wealth panel conversation. I first want to say thank you to Mayor Cantrell, to the American Heart Association, Enrica Triggs, Bishop Love, Bike Easy, and our other partners that are assisting with the webinar today. We are so proud to have formed this partnership with Bike Easy and joined in the Complete Street Coalition. My name is Kalisha Garrett, and I am the Executive Director of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. Rika shared some insightful information about the program, and now we will get into the business of health and wealth. We often do not have conversations around the impact of finances and your personal or business health life cycle. So today we are joined by a few local business owners, health advocates, and city officials who will share their expertise and thoughts regarding the need for both a healthy physical lifestyle and financial health, as well as highlighting our focus on accessible transportation options. Mayor Cantrell and her administration has made it a priority to focus on providing safe, accessible mobility options that provide improved health metrics. We have seen recently a transformation of our streets across the community. The vivid walkable pathways, bike trails, lanes, cautionary signals, and signage has brought about an awareness of the campaign that we are here to discuss today. While there is an effort to design, develop, and place over 600 miles of new routes, we also want to make sure that we have an informative conversation regarding the intersection of health and wealth and what it means to you, our participants, our business members, our leaders, our citizens of New Orleans today. So first, I would like to welcome John Williamson, who we just saw on the video, CEO of Level Water and a member of NORBCC. John is the founder and owner of Level Water Company, NOLA Cycles, and president of MSAADA, a nonprofit. He is a native New Orleanian, and he's a proud family man as well as an entrepreneur. This is evident in his businesses that he owns and the nonprofits that he leads in his community, his profound involvement with ensuring that health and wealth are both a priority. Next, we have Ms. Valerie McMillan, owner and founder of Amwell. While working for the city of New Orleans, Valerie launched the first ever yoga wellness program for city employees at City Hall. She has led classes at various locations throughout the city of New Orleans and designed the first signature weekly class, which features curvy body friendly yoga and meditation. Her center, the Amwell, is the first yoga studio in Gentilly. Along with these two is Miss Diana Holmes of JP Morgan Chase. Diana became the community manager for New Orleans in 2020. As community manager, her quest is to increase the financial health of individuals and businesses of her community. Her work includes collaborating with community partners, religious organizations, healthcare, workforce readiness, civic and government organizations, while serving as a quarterback to resources for the underserved communities of New Orleans. And lastly, but not least, we have our economic development extraordinaire, Mr. Jeff Schwartz. He is the director of economic development for the city of New Orleans, a proud partner of NORBCC, and has worked tirelessly over his career to ensure equity and usability of our community for all of our citizens to come. So I'd like to welcome our panel as we begin our discussion today.
Thank you so much. So excited to be here.
Thank you all. And so with that, John, I want to throw a little question to you. How do you see community health relating to your business model and what you've done over the past few years?
I see it relating to the business model by having a product that is good in both sides. By water business, of course, there's different species of water. So when you understand that and you think and you have something that's a high pH, and of course we all going to eat different, and we're going to eat great in our city. So you want to make sure you balance that off. And when you educate everybody on that, then that's a better way to say, okay, I have a choice now. And I'm going to choose this to go this route because I know it's going to give me longevity, which is my health and my wealth.
Great answer. And Valerie, look, I was so enthused when I saw the information about your studio and the types of classes and the focus that you did when developing this program. How do you see health relating to your business model and that impact on the community?
Thank you, Kalisha. Well, the Amwell is a community-based social enterprise. So the community is us, right? So I was very intentional about being in Gentilly where there were no other yoga studios and really letting folks know, folks that look like me and with different bodies, different abilities, that yoga is for you, right? We have a big focus on the beginners. So you know you can move in a way that feels good to your body, right? Whatever you need to do is great. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to suffer in a pose or at home, like make as much noise as you need to, like during class. Like we're very intentional about taking up as much space as you need and being welcoming and inclusive to everyone.
Wow, that is amazing. And so I think with you in that space and also having come from public service, working in City Hall and starting and having those classes implemented with some of your team members, right? And the staff that's there. What do you think the disparity in health and wellness with African Americans, what do you think we can do to make this a more concerted effort and something that's on the minds of individuals within our community so that they can take it a little bit serious and make sure that they're focused on it? Valerie, what are your thoughts on that?
There's so much to unpack with that. So I invite everyone to very quickly just close your eyes and think about all of the women in your life, all of the memories you have with them. Now open your eyes and think about this. Each year, more Black women die from complications that arise from heart disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure than any other ethnic group in the United States. So in December of 2005, my mother became one of those statistics when she lost her battle to heart disease. And that's the hardest fight I've ever been through in my entire life. So I lost my own will to live and thrive. I was depressed. I was 70 pounds heavier than I am right now. So I decided that, you know what? One day when I have my own daughter, I want to be here for her and not be a statistic. So what I started to do, I started to walk every single day, 30 minutes a day. I had to break it up. Maybe it was 15 minutes here and 15 minutes there because it was a lot, y'all. My glutes were on fire. My thighs were on fire. But just walking outside, and I was in Chicago at the time, it had such a profound impact on my psyche. And that, and along with learning how to eat and read labels and do meal planning, the weight started to fall off. And that's why I love being a member of Girl Trek. I love being a member of Black Girls Run because they get it, right? It's one step at a time. It's free 99. You don't need any gym memberships. But what we do need is a walkable neighborhood. We do need sidewalks, right? And so we have to think about that personal impact, how it impacts each of us, and wanting to be here for our families and thinking about 7 generations. And our health is so valuable. We can't have a business without our own wellness. And so that's definitely my message for that, to really take it seriously.
Wow, Valerie, you said a mouthful in that answer. And I think that you kind of transitioned to where I wanted to go, to actually bring in Miss Diana Holmes and ask her, because as you stated, if you don't have your health, your business does not have its health. And I think Rika alluded to that earlier. So Diana, what are your thoughts on how we can make sure that individuals understand that their wealth, their finances, impact their health and ability to actually operate their businesses and as Valerie stated, just be here for their families?
Yes, it's actually critical that small business owners take their financial health as serious as their physical health. And the pandemic has shed a bright light on why. We know that in the Black community, the pandemic impacted the Black community much more or at a higher rate than others. We had more health complications. In addition to that, worse, we had the highest death rate. Wow. So when we think about the physical aspect of it, those numbers are there and it's still happening, right? But when we think about the financial impact, according to the JP Morgan Institute, prior to the pandemic, small Black business owners did not have the amount of cash liquidity as other businesses. So right there, going into the pandemic, the survival of small businesses looked a little different than other businesses because they were unable to pivot as quickly. They did not have an emergency cash reserve to take on those extra expenses that were necessary to keep a sanitary environment, work environment for the employees, or even if they continue to have customers, or even change their business model to become more online, off-site services, whatever they needed to do to pivot, they did not have the cash reserve to do that. So when we think about just those two impacts of the pandemic, it's critical because of their survival, the business itself, right? And then the individuals, their survival, their lives depend on it, in addition to the employees that work there. They were dealing with the same financial impact and health impact as the business owners. So when we think about that, their lives depend on it and the survival of the business depend on it. So that's why it's serious. So, here we are today, and we're thinking about the path forward. It's going to be even more critical that small Black business owners really take a critical look at what they are doing today in regards to having that short-term savings in place, in addition to a long-term savings.
Well, Diana, yes, and I'm going to delve a little bit into the conversation on the finances in a little bit, but I definitely want to bring in Jeff to the conversation as well, because as you talked about, they have to have a pathway, right? And they really have to have a plan. And I know that Jeff alluded to earlier, this is like budget season, right? So the city itself is looking at how are they planning for things to come out and how are they going to continue to be able to provide services. And that is a level of anxiety. So we have to think about it from a public side, from a private side, and then again from our small business and our employee team member side, right? So Jeff, I know that this has been an initiative for this administration. I thank Mayor Cantrell for coming in and providing her remarks. I know this is very near and dear to your heart with transportation and safety, and that the city has many initiatives to improve the health of all of our residents. What are the hopes for how this new biking network that's underway can impact our Black communities, our more underserved population, and those areas where they may not have had this type of safe transportation accessibility in the past? What are your thoughts about that?
That is such a good question, Kalisha. And again, thank you everybody for having me here today. I'm honored to be here representing Mayor Cantrell and some of my colleagues like Dr. Avegno, who I think, she probably has Health is Wealth tattooed on her somewhere. I think your question is so spot on, Kalisha. When we think about economic opportunity and what does it look like to have economic mobility and equitable economic development in the city, to me, it really boils down to the city and its partners in the private sector and philanthropy, NGOs, nonprofits, really being so intentional about where investment and development is happening. It's about where we actually access opportunity within our city. And transportation, it's so near and dear to my heart, in part because you cannot talk about economic opportunity without talking about how somebody accesses a business, how a business literally gets people to its front door, how folks are able to, actually access the job centers in the city and the region. And so whether we're talking about, someone working at a mom and pop shop, a barber shop, on Gentilly or Broad, where I spent, many years working, or, connecting folks to Ochsner, which is, one of our largest employers in the region, we frankly have not I think done enough in the public sector to think really holistically about how we make sure folks access opportunity. When I was working before I joined the city a little over a year ago, one of my favorite statistics, precisely because it was so galling, was that the neighborhoods on the north side of Broad Street, on the lake side of Broad Street, had a life expectancy that was about the US average. It was around 75 years. And I know Onika and others know this so well. On the river side of Broad, just literally, 5 or 6 blocks away, those neighborhoods had a life expectancy of about 55 years. And so just that 5 or 6 blocks away had a 2-decade disparity in health outcomes, and what that speaks to in terms of the lack of economic opportunity, the lack of complete streets, the lack of safe places to exercise and play, all the things that it spoke to when you really start to look at root causes. To me, that is essential as we think about how we are going to equitably grow our city's economy. We need to be thinking about how folks are accessing opportunity in all of our neighborhoods. And so I think it's these are the essential questions that are before us when we think about economic development in our city.
Thanks, Jeff. And I think that you bring up a good point with, and we've seen this, and I know that we all think about it daily as we drive through the neighborhoods, right? You're on one side of the street that have $1 million mansion, and then you're on the other side of the street that may have multifamily units, and you can see the disparity, and as it changes, as it transitions within those neighborhoods, and the lack of access to amenities that can provide centers of health, places where they can have exercise or have initiatives that are focused on increasing the longevity of their lives. And as we are looking to do so, I'm happy that Valerie, when she shared about her center having a brick and mortar and being in Gentilly, Valerie, I wanted to ask you, if it was easier for people to arrive safely at your business by using, walking trails or biking trails? How do you think that would impact your business? And what's that importance of having these clearly identified safe pathways so that people in a community can get to you?
Thanks. So again, that's why I was very intentional of the space where we are. And we are directly located on the Elysian Fields bus line, on a Broad Street bus line, or right at Milton and Elysian Fields. So folks can catch the bus there. There's the bike trail, so they can walk. So it's very accessible. I was very intentional about folks being able to get there safely. And I want a bike rack installed. So we're working on getting that as well.
Exactly. Look, and during this time, I mean, everyone knows that we are living in just unprecedented times. COVID-19 has pulled back the curtain and exposed many of the issues and ills and those things that we actually have to work on within our community. And Diana spoke earlier about having that extra stash, right? Having a savings account, planning for the unexpected. And these are some things that many of our community members and business leaders often neglect to do because they are in that day-to-day hustle and grind, right? They're focused on what's in front of them right now and trying to land the next best thing, the next best contract. And during COVID-19, we were shown that, hey, we really have to have something in place. So Diana, how do you think we could utilize having a biking network to reimagine how people can use this in a positive manner to impact their businesses, and so also by decreasing that stress, right, or allowing for those team members to be able to park their bicycles or to walk to work, having more staggered schedules? How do you think that we can, impact these businesses in this manner, utilizing the program and the partnership that Bike Easy and New Orleans Complete Streets are putting before us today?
Well, this is an opportunity for small Black business owners to enhance the culture of their business. So when you're thinking about retaining and attracting top talent, if this is an added benefit where the organization is saying, we care about you, we care about your physical health, and we care about your financial health. The physical health is, we have this bike rack here where you can now save a little money, instead of spending money on gas, those extra car repairs, or maybe a parking expense, depending on what part of town you work in. You can now repurpose that money and put that towards a savings. So if you have a business owner telling employees this, wow, can you imagine how the culture changes within that organization? And then when you're thinking about the physical health, so they have that opportunity to relieve a little stress before they get to work. And now they're in your workspace, still dealing with personal, stressors, whatever may be going on, but they arrive at work a little bit quicker, right, in the car, but all the stress now comes into that workspace. So for the business owner, you're impacting two things, financially and the physical health, because we know financial stability also directly impacts the mental health and also the physical health. So if you got those two things going and you're promoting that for yourself, and also now the employees see, this is someone who truly cares about me, I'm not just an employee, then that changes the culture of your business.
Those are great points. And I wanted to jump back to Jeff just real quick. I know that the city has some initiatives for our businesses that will allow for, external seating, and they've made some concessions on some of those things. So Jeff, can you share some of those points with the individuals that are on today and make sure that those that have joined in are aware of what the city is allowing for us to do to help our businesses at this time?
Thank you so much for coming back to that, Kalisha. Yes, I'm very happy to say that as of about 2 weeks ago, the city has expanded its outdoor dining program to include parklets. Sometimes it's referred to as curbside dining or streeteries. The city is joining the ranks of many other places, as I'm sure we've all seen during COVID, where businesses, not just restaurants and bars, but frankly, any business in the city can now have outdoor space to operate their business, to expand the footprint of their business. We know that, especially during COVID, being outside is healthier than being inside. That's almost certainly true even in non-COVID times, as we've talked about today. And I think, there are multiple benefits that are going to come from this, both in the short term and the long term. During COVID, we know that, not only is it healthier to be outside, there's also great benefits for the businesses in being able to expand the footprint of their business. The obvious health benefits associated with being outdoors. And then I think something that's near and dear to the mission of the Complete Streets Coalition and a lot of the work of the partners represented here today, this idea of activating our streets and making it more comfortable and safe to be a walker, a biker, a transit user, generally, utilizing our streets, which I think New Orleans does better than anywhere else in the country. We know how to live and be in the streets. It's a part of the indigenous culture of this place. We see this outdoor dining work really supporting that, and the city and the mayor, frankly, have been sort of the biggest champions of reimagining what public rights of way can be. So I'm happy to share in the chat. I can share the links for where folks can go to actually apply for those permits. All of the fees are waived for the duration of COVID, more or less, for the parklet permits. And with our partners at the Business Alliance, we are actually doing grants to support businesses to expand into those spaces. So we know that there are some expenses associated with that. And so I'll share that link as well, where folks can go to apply for that. And then the last thing I wanted to mention, which isn't directly related to outdoor dining, but just really quickly, I know many of you have been partners in working on the Complete Streets Coalition. And I know, I'm sure it's probably common knowledge here, but I know that on October 5th, the city and council just adopted the new updated Complete Streets policy, which, relates both to this work around outdoor dining, but I think is going to pay dividends, frankly, for years to come, for all of the work that we're talking about today. So kudos to everybody who helped carry the water on that.
Thank you, Jeff. I totally appreciate that. And yes, if you can drop that information in the chat, and actually we'll be sending it out as well. We love disseminating information through our newsletter from you guys, and have been happy to be on these conversations with you all. And then, so I want to go to John. And I think that this question, I really want to get your insight on it. As it relates to the Black business community, being a distributor of water, right? A healthy water product. How do you think the Black business community can help move New Orleans forward in a more innovative and health-focused way, so that we can be a hub across the Gulf South, across this nation, that shows our environmental consciousness, as well as increase our utilization of outdoors and being more, accessible to safety and outside living? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, there's probably two parts of that. And it really starts with, of course, educating the young. And because this is a time track from not just now, but 5-10 years from now, because that's when you're going to see the real effect of it, as far as currently, but then to really see a real growth path to it. So I think the step of that would be probably some type of informative information throughout the community and networks of all of these businesses, by some type of flyer, digital way of doing that. But of course, these type of settings here. So it's getting the information out, then letting people know, and then this is the reason and this is the effect. If we can do this in this way, in this time frame, then in time, then we can have this change that's going to put us in this position to be that type of hub. So it's just I think it's the informative path is figuring out the execution part and doing that for the the most part, I think I can do it. And we can do it. It's no question if we can, it's just when we're going to do it.
Wow, I heard that as a challenge. So I want to say to all who are participating today, I just heard Mr. Williamson say that we can do it. He is doing it. And he needs some friends. We know that we always promote to be deliberate and intentional to make sure that we support our minority business members, make sure that we support our local businesses, utilizing and sharing and housing their products, goods, and services, making sure that we are supporting these centers when they're open, when these entrepreneurs are stretching their last dime to make sure that they can bring something safe to you, and also supporting our city in these efforts and the things that they need from us as a business community to make sure that the information is being shared. John just stated, you know, we need to know that it's there. And we need to make sure that people are talking about it and be about what you're talking about, right? Make sure that they use it. So with that, I do want to thank each of the panelists for giving of their time, for their dedication and support into the cause and ensuring that we all are aware of what is happening, keeping our ear to the grind, being healthy, breathing, right? Making sure we take time to breathe, and meditation, understanding that we have to reduce these levels of stress and anxiety. And we have to make sure that we are getting ourselves healthy, both physically and financially. So with that, I hope this information that was shared has been beneficial to you all, and that you can incorporate focusing on positive, healthy activities and increasing your financial wealth as we move through the end of 2020 and the beginning of the year to come. So thank you.
When we go out and walk, it's about a 30-minute stretch that we take, 2 miles typically. One of the biggest hurdles when we take our walks, and it's a challenge especially with 2 small kids, is that the sidewalks do not connect throughout the entire street.
And it is difficult when I have to walk around into different areas and to watch the traffic and to look for the potholes and everything so that I don't hurt myself. It's important for everybody in the city to have better streets so that we can travel at a safer rate.
For me, Girl Trek is that opportunity for us to come together as women to talk about what's going on in our communities and to help our communities become better places.
Step up and get involved.
I started back on a bike after the doctor had diagnosed me with arthritis in my left knee. And he said, you can't run no more, go buy your bike. So I said, write that in a prescription so I can show it to my wife. And I went and bought me a bike. Oh, man. Yeah, I could tell you some stories about going across the Gretna Ferry on a bike. Since the 70s, yeah, I would route from Marrero to here. And once we got over here to the ferry, then we get on the other side, and man, we just take off. And we just ride around the city, which back then was no bike lanes like they have in the city now. So our lane of choice was this little white line that you see on the road here. And the way we wanted to go. Born and raised here.
Hello, I'm Rob Hennig-Bell. I'm the campaign manager with Bike Easy and the New Orleans Complete Streets Coalition. And I just want to thank everyone for being here with us today. I want to thank the Black Chamber for embracing this vision of New Orleans communities with more affordable, safe, accessible ways to get around town. It's a big deal that's going on right now. You know, we're here because of a transformational change being led by Mayor Cantrell, other leaders at the city. When she came into office, she created an Office of Transportation. They put forward a vision for New Orleans called Moving New Orleans. And a centerpiece of that is Moving New Orleans Bikes. And just this year and next year, the city is committed to building and improving 75 miles of improved sidewalks, walking paths, protected bike lanes, bike boulevards that connect to one one another, connect the city, and give people those additional options for moving around safely. So the coalition, the New Orleans Complete Streets Coalition, is 30 local organizations committed to seeing this vision through and to seeing complete streets in every part of New Orleans, because we understand the benefits, and we've come together to share what those benefits are with local organizations, with individuals, with people all through the community. And those benefits have been spoken about today by a lot of our colleagues, especially Rika Triggs, who went in depth on the health benefits, which are central to Complete Streets and the work that's being done, but also just, our personal safety, the safety of our families, the safety of the community, and economic empowerment, which is why I think the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce was so eager to be a part of this, and we're so excited to be working with them. And I want to encourage you, for being here today, to join the coalition, to go to nolacompletestreets.org, go to the Get Involved tab and sign on in support, especially if you are a business owner or a part of an organization. We really want to show that local businesses support this idea of making our streets more safe and accessible for everyone, so that local businesses are able to step forward and be leaders of this movement, and to offer the folks in the community, in the neighborhood, more options, more ways to keep their dollars close, keep those dollars in the community. That's going to be a big boost for every neighborhood all around New Orleans. So go to nolacompletestreets.org, join the movement. And I just want to make one last quick plug for my organization, Bike Easy. We are offering a new bike rack program. So to new members of the coalition, business members of the coalition can get a discount on a great bike rack for the front of their business, and other sort of benefits that we provide and that other coalition members offer services and benefits. So it's a great and growing movement, and hope you can join us. And just thanks again for everyone for being here.
So thank you all for joining us this afternoon. I want to make sure to thank our sponsors and partners who are listed on the screen today. Please, please, please make sure that you check out our website, stay in touch with the Black Chamber, norbchamber.org, or visit nolacompletestreets.org for participation. Join the coalition, join the movement, make sure that we are staying abreast of the information as it relates to our complete streets and how we are moving our city forward to be a more walkable and bikeable and safe pathway city. So thank you again on behalf of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, Bike Easy. Thank you to our sponsors, New Orleans Complete Street Coalition, and to each and every one of the members and sponsors and partners that participated today, and to our city's administration. Please just keep this job going forward. It is so important to the health and well-being of our members and your constituency. So thank you all again, and you have a wonderful afternoon.